we have few questions for you, Shaheen, asked by our viewers. And the first question goes to you: equity and equality in education is like a mirage. How do we achieve it?
Yeah, I mean, such a beautiful and big question. It would take several days to answer this question adequately, but I do want to bring us back to the idea of unleashing our children's greatest potential by seeing their role in the system differently. I have worked for the last 30 years with children who have the most difficult lives, unbelievable challenges. And yet I've realized that it is the giving them the opportunity to serve and make the world better that actually uplifts them and helps them reach their greatest potential. So I think it's a tough question. I'm thinking right now about digital access. At Teach for India, we're doing a massive drive now to make sure that all of our kids have hardware so that they can still learn like higher income children. So there's a range of different things we need to be doing as organizations. But I would say rather than getting overwhelmed and thinking, yes, it's a mirage, it is a very far away dream. Can we think of our students as partners in actually answering that question?
Wonderful. The next question is: do we have education that helps children to go and start their job with the degrees they have?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that we've been so conditioned to thinking that the ultimate purpose of education and our schools is to get kids jobs, that I think we've done kids a big disservice because we have not prepared them for life. How do we expand the purpose? And I say expand because livelihood, of course, is of critical importance, especially for children who live in poverty. And it is my great hope that an Isha, Sandhya, Rehan get the job of their choice, but it's not enough. And I think the answer to that question is no. The education we're providing today does not help you have the job of your choice, succeed at it, and live a happy and fulfilled life. That's why I started with the 8 C's. I think if we really think about the skills we want to build in our children and not just the content knowledge that they need, our kids will be much more equipped for life.
Right. Well, the third question is it possible to define a minimum common level of quality which can be attained in all the schools? Minimum.
I think so. I think we must do it. I had a student tell me once, Didi, don't set a bar for children, because if you set a bar, they will not go beyond that bar. And I found that so powerful. We must have a minimum, but we must help our children and our teachers realize that this is a process, and it's not a process that ends when you leave school. We somewhere lost the plot when we said education is classroom instruction. Education is life. We are learning consistently through our entire lives. And yet, at the school level and the classroom level, I think we must have a level of quality that we define very clearly, outcomes that are not just content but skill-based, and to hold the highest expectations of our students. Our kids, when we do these sessions, we don't tell them what to say. We don't listen to their answers. We give them the broad flow. This is what we're going to be doing today. And we trust. And we know that sometimes they'll make mistakes like we do, and they will learn from those. But it's holding kids to the highest expectations that I think would be my key recommendation.
Perfect. Very well said. And the second last question that goes to you is: what do you feel is a priority to transform education on an immediate basis?
Yeah, I have so many dreams for education, and as all of you must have deeply immersed yourselves in the new education policy, we've been reading it and trying to say, how can we serve the nation even better. I think Ganesh earlier in the chat window mentioned a comment around the children on the panel living the skills of a democratic citizen. I think this has to be our biggest, most urgent priority. How do we help our children practice what is enshrined in our Constitution? Equality, liberty, fraternity, and justice, and practice it right from kindergarten through school. And so not learn it in a moralistic way, but really say, how can I be equal in my classroom? How can I be free in my classroom? How do I practice these ideals? How do I care about my own life and my own success? But equally, how do I uplift those around me? I think that's the priority.
Truly said, yeah. And the last question, what are the parameters that you suggest will uplift the education standards within the classroom?
Again, I'm going to just go back like a broken record to my C's. I think if we're asking ourselves as teachers every day, did my students exhibit courage? Did I exhibit courage in my actions as a teacher? As a student, that may mean I'm shy and I don't have the right answer, but I have the courage to put my hand up. That's courage. That's practicing courage. Do my children exhibit compassion? If someone next to them isn't learning, are they just doing their own work, or are they stopping and sacrificing their work to help the person next to them? That really matters in today's world. Do my students exhibit curiosity? Are they just listening and agreeing, or are they arguing with me and debating and expressing a different opinion? How beautiful is that? So I see these C's as really the parameters for 21st century education.